Um, well, I don't know what would I do with myself if I wasn't playing poker. The fear of going back to working 9 to 5 probably keeps me going playing poker, I think. Sometimes it's kind of tough. I know it may not seem like that over the last couple of years, but there are some bad times too. But of course, moments like the Poker Million final in Vegas and stuff like that in the Irish Open, that's what keeps you going. The feeling you get when you make a final table. I never really had a moment where I decided to go and become a professional poker player. Just like a lot of people, I got into it by chance, playing with friends when I was younger and stuff like that. And I suppose I'd become a professional poker player before I realised I was a professional poker player. I just started doing better at it. It seemed to, I always looked at it as a hobby, and I'd been getting better and better at it and making more and more money. And then I realised that I was actually making more money than this than I would be making if I'd been working. And it was a pretty easy decision for me because I didn't have a job to leave. I'd been a student at the time, so I just thought that was a good time to try it out. It's not the most original idea in the world, but my strategy going into these things is always to kind of, if I have enough chips to play, always to kind of try and wait on a hand and look for good spots to get my money into. And eventually in these TV tournaments it's going to turn into a bit of a crapshoot, so then you have to alter your strategy according to the chips you have and get in there and gamble. Although obviously fairly soon into the Poker Million final I had to start thinking of a new strategy when I found myself with 15,000 chips left. But I've been in that situation before and I kind of know what to do. Usually I get knocked out, but I still know what you're supposed to do. You just have to. The first time you just have to put your chips in the first available opportunity, and that's probably the same the next time as well. And then you just have to kind of pick your spots in terms of whose blinds you can steal and stuff like that, and just hope to get a bit lucky and get through any time you are trying to steal the blinds or hopefully pick up a big hand yourself. It actually didn't take that long. A few laps at the table later I was back up to the kind of stack that I had at the start, so then I was back to the normal strategy of trying to buy my time and look for good spots again. I don't know, I'm not sure if that was the case. I think Owen was kind of playing the same sort of game. He was limping on the button and checking the big blind a lot as well. I think we were both playing very similar. I just think he got off to a good start because he seemed to have the better hand on the flop. The first 10 or so hands were played, and obviously that brought the stacks back to fairly level. And then I think it changed a little bit, and I started to pick up a couple of hands. But I don't know, in a final like that, it's really going to come down to one or two big hands and who gets the best cards as well. I think Owen played probably, if anything, I'd say he probably played a little bit better than me. But I do think we're both playing the same sort of game, and in a situation like that, it's just kind of, the guy that runs better will emerge the winner, I think. That's an easy answer. I thought Owen was the best player at the final table. I thought that at the time, and having watched it back on the TV, I would still say that. I also think Owen was the best player in the semi-final too. As I said in one of my blogs, I think if I went to a judge's decision, then Owen would probably be the unanimous victor. Having said that, I was pretty happy with the way I played myself. I think I played as well as I can play anyway. That's all I can do, I suppose. We're not allowed to talk about deals done in the Poker Million, but there was 4 Irish guys in the last 4. First prize was $1 million and second prize was 260,000. So you can read into that whatever you want. No, I was kind of signing off everything to Paul after the Poker Million celebrations. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I did have a word. Well, I intend to have a word with Paul about that. Actually, I did see him every time I looked at the footage. Like he had his arm around Karen, and at one point he was holding my mum's hand. So I'm not the only Smith that wants to have a word with him. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with what I achieved so far. If I can win another couple of tournaments, I'll be even happier. But I'm not really that fussed. What they are. I think probably the only way to get bigger would be to win the World Series main event. There was always three big tournaments that I wanted to win. One being the Irish Open, one being the Poker Million, and the other being the World Series. And I nearly, I won probably the second biggest tournament in my eyes in Vegas. So I've come pretty close to achieving those three dreams that I never thought I would achieve one of them. I would say that I'm not too bothered if I don't win the World Series main event. I'm not sure if I want all the fame and stuff that comes with it. Bankroll management, I'm told, is very important, and I can see it is very important, but it's something I'm not very good at. lucky enough at the minute I don't really need to exercise too much bankroll management. But yeah, I've certainly been guilty of playing too high from a bankroll at times, or playing badly and playing on tilt in bigger games than I should be playing and stuff like that. And I've nearly played the place a couple of times. I've been quite lucky, maybe that a couple of big tournament results have come along just at the right time to get me back on my feet. Yeah, I've had to deal with loads of massive downswings. I suppose it's all relative to your bankroll. I mean, whenever I started off playing and I had a bankroll of about $20,000 that had accumulated in the space of about a month, and I wiped out 14 grand of it in the space of about 3 hours. That's probably my biggest downswing, or my biggest downswing, sorry, relative to the size of the bankroll I had at the time. But yeah, since then I've had runs that have gone on for 2, 3, 4 months where I've had really big losing streaks. But usually by the end of the year, well, so far, apart from this year, I think this is probably going to be my first losing year online. But every year before that, I've always ended up ahead at the end of the year. I kind of like to be doing what I'm doing now. If you guys keep me on for another 10 years, I'm pretty happy here.
You won 3 major tournaments a year, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I used to, but as strange as it sounds, I was actually happier about my game 3 years ago before I'd ever won any big tournaments, before the Irish Open. I was making money, pretty easily every month online. I just thought this is going to be really easy money for the rest of my life, And I can now see that isn't always going to be the case. The standard online's got so much better, and it's really, it's a real slog to make any sort of living online. I've kind of been fortunate that all these big tournament wins have come along, so I don't really need to worry so much about that. But I am aware now that that might not be the case for the rest of my life, and I do need to make the most of it while I can. I've done an awful lot of research in trying to find the optimum number of pints that I play best in, and I've actually I'm pretty sure now that it's three pints of Guinness before the tournament. Keep yourself topped up, maybe one every hour and a half, so that you're still at that kind of same level of drunkenness. Too much and you can play too aggressively and get carried away, and if you're not drunk enough, then you end up maybe passing hands that you should call with and stuff like that. So yeah, three is the optimum number. On my arse, like Nebuchad did, is that what you mean? I know that Nebuchad burnt his ass after he got knocked out of the Labrooks, the Poker Million semi-final, and a few guys were asking me if I intended to do that with boys, but Nebuchad's got quite a tan, smooth arse, whereas mine's very nice, ginger and hairy. It just wouldn't look good. Wouldn't be good if I done it. I don't know about that. I'm not putting on as much weight as Roland Wood. I don't know where that comment came from. Four. At least 4. I've done 4. I don't know if I could do more than that. I'm going to go. Marty Wilson tells me that the world record's 5, so I'm going to attempt that the next time I'm sufficiently drunk. That's a bit of a Hobson's choice, really. I don't know, the way things are going anyway, I'm going to have a haircut like Nicky Parr pretty soon. I don't think I'm going to get away with this much longer, so ask me next year. What sort of pornography? No, none of that. Probably Nicky Parr. No, not Nicky Parr. A guy called, this is a fairly easy answer for me, but I can't remember his name now. I'm going to start this again. What do you call that really annoying guy? It would be a toss-up between David Mermond, who's a guy who plays in London a lot, and Mark Telcher. They're probably the only 2 guys in poker that I really wouldn't like to be stranded in Desert Island with. Not so much that I dislike Mark Telcher, he's just very annoying. The other guy, I dislike them. I don't give a shit, I'll say that.
Keep rolling.